What if I told you that one of the world's rarest birds lives only in a handful of forests, so small you could walk across them in a single afternoon? And those forests are disappearing right now. Imagine a bird so specialized, so perfectly adapted, that it can't live anywhere else on Earth. The Algerian nuthatch is a small, blue-gray songbird with a sharp, upturned bill and a call like a soft, metallic tink. It doesn't migrate. It doesn't wander. For thousands of years, it has lived only in a few patches of old-growth oak and pine forest in northern Algeria, a kingdom no larger than a city. But over the last few decades, that kingdom has been quietly crumbling. And today, fewer than 2,000 of these birds may remain. So how did a species that survived ice ages and climatic shifts find itself on the edge of oblivion? And is there still time to save it? The story begins not with a dramatic event, but with a slow, creeping loss, the kind that's easy to miss until it's almost too late. For most of its history, the Algerian nuthatch was a master of its domain. It evolved alongside the Atlas cedar and the Algerian oak, developing a unique foraging technique, scaling bark in a spiral pattern, prying insects from crevices with its slender bill. It nests in old tree cavities, often those carved out by woodpeckers and then abandoned. Its entire life cycle is tied to mature, undisturbed woodland. For centuries, that wasn't a problem. These forests were vast, stable, and remote. But in the 20th century, things began to change. Human populations grew, land was needed for agriculture, for firewood, for expansion. Slowly, the great forests began to shrink. At first, it was subtle. A patch cleared here for crops, a section logged there for timber. But each loss fragmented the habitat further, isolating nuthatch populations from one another. A bird that once flew freely across wooded valleys now found itself trapped in green islands, surrounded by open land it couldn't cross. By the 1970s, scientists began to realize something was wrong. The nuthatch wasn't being seen in places it used to be. Its range was contracting, but the real crisis was still ahead. In the 1990s and 2000s, the pressures intensified. Climate change brought longer, drier summers. Forest fires became more frequent and more severe. In some areas, overgrazing by livestock prevented young trees from growing, meaning the forest couldn't regenerate. Old trees, the very ones the nuthatch depends on for nesting and feeding, were disappearing faster than they could be replaced. And then there's the problem of the nuthatch's own biology. It's a sedentary bird. It doesn't explore. It doesn't adapt quickly. When its home is damaged, it doesn't fly away to find a new one, it stays and it struggles. Its population isn't just declining, it's fracturing. Small groups become genetically isolated, more vulnerable to disease, more likely to blink out entirely. So what's being done? Conservationists recognized the crisis decades ago, and the response has been a mix of urgency and immense difficulty. The first step was understanding the bird itself. Researchers began detailed surveys, mapping every known territory, counting pairs, monitoring nesting success. They found that the nuthatch is incredibly picky. It needs large, old trees with plenty of decaying wood and natural cavities. It avoids young plantations and disturbed areas. Simply planting new trees wasn't enough. The habitat had to be old. That led to the second phase, protection. Several key forests were designated as national parks or protected areas. Logging was restricted in core zones. Fire breaks were established to reduce wildfire risk. but enforcement has been challenging. In a country with pressing human needs, protecting a small bird isn't always the top priority. Local communities often depend on the forest for resources. So the third, and perhaps most crucial, step has been engagement. Conservation groups have started working with villagers, offering alternatives to logging like sustainable beekeeping or ecotourism guides. The idea is to make the living forest more valuable than the cut-down one. It's a slow process, building trust and showing that the nuthatch's survival can benefit people, too. There have been small victories. In the Tala forest, one of the bird's last strongholds, guard patrols have reduced illegal cutting. Nest boxes have been installed in areas where natural cavities are scarce, and some pairs have used them successfully. Reforestation projects are focusing on native oaks and cedars, not fast-growing commercial species. But the challenges remain immense. Climate models suggest that the nuthatch's habitat could shrink by another 50% in the coming decades due to rising temperatures and aridification. Forest fires are a constant threat, and with so few birds left, a single bad year, a severe drought, a major blaze could wipe out an entire population. The Algerian nuthatch is now classified as endangered. Some experts believe it should be critically endangered. Its future hinges on a handful of forest patches, some smaller than 1,000 acres. If those are lost, the species will almost certainly go extinct in the wild. But here's what makes this story so compelling: it's not over yet. The same specificity that makes the nuthatch vulnerable also makes it a powerful symbol. Saving it means saving an entire ecosystem. The ancient trees, the insects, the clean water sources, the balance that has existed for millennia. The nuthatch is a beacon, a tiny indicator of the health of North Africa's last wild forests. And its fate will tell us a lot about our own ability to protect what's rare, what's fragile, and what can't be replaced. If you were in charge of saving the Algerian nuthatch, what's the first thing you would do? Share your plan in the comments. Your idea could inspire the next wave of conservation.